Hey, everybody.
Boo.
Boo, bitch.
Boo. Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, girl.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, grrr. Hello, and thanks for coming, America. My name is Seth. What's yours?
Hello, it's Jamal.
Hi, Stoney's here.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another fun week at Thanks for Coming, the most magically gay podcast in the world. We are back again to bring you some more Rue content, and we're going to recap episode 5 for you.
Yes, all the razzmatazz Foyo as we are here.
Yes, this is another controversial week in Rupaul's Drag Race land, but before we get into that, just want to check up on Stoney and Jamal. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I've finished Tiger King. I think she totally fed her husband to those cats.
He probably deserved it. I haven't watched the show, but I'm just going to guess that he probably deserved it because men are trash.
Probably, and totes agree. I've been watching a lot of TV, so that was one show Stoney and I watched together. We started Self-Made on Netflix. That's pretty cool. And lots of HGTV catching up type things. So that's been making me happy this week. And that's basically all I did besides work.
How did the trail look this week?
Man, I'm telling you, like, I keep saying The Real Housewives on Twitter because it's just always like a bunch of ladies gathered together with like coffee mugs that probably have booze in them.
Yeah.
And they're just like all laughing and getting their life outside, but they're breaking the rule of, first of all, they're not at least 6 feet apart from each other. And there's like been at least 5 to 6 of them that I've seen a handful of times.
Uh-oh.
So,
they've been recognized.
They've been recognized, but we're not trying to get paranoid over here. But I'm like, y'all, come on now. And we actually found out that a northern part of our trail was closed because people just aren't listening.
Oh, wow. They're feeling real brave with their I want to speak to the manager haircuts.
They are. Oh, my gosh, they are.
I mean, I've been trying to I have been going out on the trail and biking, but I've been trying to go like in the early morning.
Yeah.
Like when it's like less populated. So it's just like you're kind of going by a few people now and then. Like the problem is, it just gets so crowded like in the Broad Ripple area. And it's like, it's not really... It doesn't seem like a good idea that everyone's just like walking like in, I don't know, like packs of people at this point. So
yeah, and usually it's not that bad, but now everybody's being told to stay home, so everybody wants to be outside. We totally get it, but yeah, try to go earlier or later like Stoney's doing, I guess, because my ass isn't out there, but he is.
It like turns into like a video game basically where Stoney is like playing Escape from COVID-19 and like he has to weave around like all these people like not social distancing.
It's like Escape from COVID-19 Mountain or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, girl.
I'm going to set the trail on fire between our house and the trail.
Jamal just like writes stay home and gasoline and lights it on fire.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm going to do that instead.
Uh-oh. And you know all the hairspray will just light up on these housewives' heads.
Bye, Becky.
Becky with the gross hair.
Turn around or fry.
Yeah. Jamal like starts the purge on the trail in the backyard.
Don't give me any more ideas.
Wow, I feel like I'm like complicit in this crime already. I better change the subject. What about you, Stoney? Is there anything else going on in your world?
Well, I was on vacation this week actually, so it was really nice time where I got to like work on a bunch of different projects and all that. So I don't know, I painted the stairwell. I hung up a TV downstairs for my little workout room.
Yes.
We finished our room. We moved it from upstairs to downstairs.
And I like picked up the yard, like the sticks from the winter and all that. So yeah, I was like very productive.
Isn't that Reynolds' job? Is he slacking on his chores?
He is. I asked him every week, like, yo, you didn't take out the trash. You're not picking up these sticks. What's going on?
He's like, you're not my real dad. You never will be.
He doesn't care about getting his allowance anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Now that dad's home all the time, he can just get treats all day.
I know, he's so spoiled. One other thing of important news was I also started Animal Crossing, and
yes,
I created my island name, and the island name is TFC Pod Island.
Oh, wow. Sounds hella shady.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm still like trying to figure out how to play this damn game, but maybe I'll give Seth or tell him to put in our show notes the Dodo code so you can like visit the TFC Pod Island.
A what code?
It's called
A
like
Dodo code?
Yeah. So basically you need like a code to visit other people's islands.
Ooh, password.
So I might give our listeners the TFC Pod Island code and they come like destroy my island.
That's fun.
Oh, God. I'm going to name my island like Roadkill Island. Y'all better watch out because on my island we run all the animals over.
No.
I was going to name my island Shanji Was Robbed, but I decided against that.
Oh, my God. This is getting crazy, you guys.
Because I did name my character Trixie, too, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Is it a pink island?
Well, so here's what happened. I started chopping down all the trees, and then I realized they don't grow back.
Oh, my God, Stoney.
Wow. Deforestation. Way to go, Rupaul.
Yeah, so next I'm going to start fracking my island soon.
Oh, shit. Watch out, honeybee.
But yeah, I'll give you the code or whatever, Seth, so you can like put it in the show notes or something.
All right. Yeah. Take a look down in there. Yeah. Over here in Portland, things are pretty uneventful. All I do is go to work, fear for my life, and then come back home. I've decided to sort of like make a compromise since my work is not closing. And I decided to take I didn't go to work on Monday, and I didn't go to work on Friday, and I'm not going on Monday. So
Bye.
I worked like a longer day, Tuesday through Thursday, so I'm still getting like most of my paycheck, but then like I can kind of be quarantined longer over the weekend and stay safer.
Yeah, I think that's a good adjustment, especially if you're expected to show up still.
Right. And they are talking about work from home, so it seems like that's becoming more of an option for us. They sent out contracts and I signed that shit, so I better be at home soon.
Look,
but
read. You better read.
Yeah, apparently they're sending people at home like in waves because like I guess they don't want to overwhelm like IT with like setup issues or whatever. Yeah, so a couple people did take their computers home with them on Friday or Thursday, so maybe more people did on Friday. So maybe when I go back Tuesday, I can just take my computer home at the end of the day and be happy.
That would be good news. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so, but it's gonna be like really difficult to get a tower and 2 monitors home with like no car. So LOL to me.
Oh no. Can you just do it all on the laptop, or do they have a portable monitor?
They're not giving us laptops because they're like just take your computer home.
They're like, take the desktop home.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, okay, so here's an idea. Maybe ask HR if they can comp a Lyft or Uber ride.
I was thinking about asking that, but I was like, I don't know if I'm asking too much.
You can't haul that on a bus. Like, they have to work with you. Or
Yeah,
somebody
there's no
can
way.
offer a ride or something.
Yeah.
I mean, are they like really big? Like, is it a big desktop, or is it something you could like put in a backpack easily?
No, the tower itself is fairly small. It's not like one of those like huge towers you think of, but the main part would be carrying the 2 monitors, I think, just because those are, I mean, they're not huge, but it's just like awkward to carry.
I agree. I could totally see that.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, if it happens, I can just like maybe get an Uber home, and hopefully they'll pay for it.
Well, hey, beggars can't be choosers. So as long as they work with getting that computer to your apartment, then we are all good.
Exactly. That would make me really happy to be able to just stay home. So we'll see. But other than that, there's really not too much to update you guys on. Yeah, I didn't watch The Tiger King or play Animal Crossing, so I don't know. I guess we're done.
We're trying to stay as busy and creative as we can around here while we're locked up. I've been working from home for 3 weeks now, so like trying to do stuff for the podcast, of course, but this was definitely like my TV week.
Yeah, I've been like trying to cram like all my quarantine into like the last one full day that I've been home. So I've already like started a fire in the corner and like designated a pee corner and stuff like that, just to like really catch up to the curve.
There you go.
And on that note, I think we're ready to get into the honesty spill of the week.
Let's do it.
Honesty. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Honest Tea Spill of the Week. We are of course back again to recap and break down everything that is episode 5, RuPaul's Drag Race season 12. Yay!
Episode 5, we're just chugging along.
I'm like shocked that we're on episode 5 already.
Yeah, the season's really flying by.
It always feels like it moves super fast once we're a few episodes in at least, but this season especially because we had the 2 premieres and now we're just kind of rolling along with the regular episodes.
Yeah, this was a pretty good episode too. Like, you know, we have the acting challenge. I've never watched Grey's Anatomy, so like I probably didn't, it probably would have been more funny if I would have known what the show was about and who the people are. But
sure.
I guess we'll get there later in the show. But also before we get too far into the show, we just kind of want to remind you guys, please follow and like us on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want Facebook, but you don't have to there. But you can also follow us online, www.thanksforcomingpodcast.com. And there you'll be able to find our links to all of our social medias, all of the various platforms that you can listen to our podcast on. And It's a really easy link to send to all your friends because we're really trying to build our audience. We've been doing this for a few years now. We're feeling our oats and we're ready to have more people in the family.
Yes, come join the party, queens. We'd love to have you.
Yes. All right. Obligatory plug over. Also, just, you know, kind of, because we didn't say it last time, you know, in this episode, things about Sherry Pie will be discussed. So just sort of a trigger warning to all of our listeners. That's sort of a thing throughout the episode or throughout the season that we're going to have to remember. I would like to try and be more cognizant to say it every podcast. So if anything happened last episode or last podcast that was triggering, apologize, and hopefully going forward we can keep you guys in mind a little bit better.
Well said.
All right, so at the top of the show, Rock M. Sakura was eliminated, and everyone was really affected by her elimination, even the queens who, you know, just seemed really over-emotional about hearing her crying after her elimination.
Yeah, that seemed I've been seeing this online, and of course I think we touched on it, but she cried from the moment she left all the way off the lot, right? And they could just hear it the whole time.
Yeah, they even put it that shadily in the recap of her like moaning and wailing.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, she was on the struggle bus for sure, but at least
Moaning
she's
Myrtle.
passionate.
Moaning Myrtle.
The editors are really on one this season, like with all the sipping sounds and Untucked too.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They're being real extra, but I appreciate it. But yeah, this elimination really hit the queens because that emotion is, you know, funny as it is now, we could all laugh at it. But, you know, that was just, they could feel how much she wanted to be there and how much she was not ready to leave. So that was just a nice reality check for everyone.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere there was a story about how like when she got back home, she wasn't performing shows or anything like that either. So I think it really affected Rock a lot and her confidence.
Oh yeah, she just needed a little reset moment.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, they're you know, bleed over from last week's episode of them criticizing Aiden. She thinks that they liked her referee look, but wanted more from it. And I think she's in denial because that was not cute.
Yeah, like I want to support Aiden, but that was not the way to go with that argument. Say your first two looks were strong and they wanted more. Don't try to rely on that last look because that wasn't enough.
Yeah, the last look was not good, so she just needs to stop trying to make it happen. I saw where she like redid it or something on Instagram, and it was not really any better. So
It was still hot glue and a corset, sis. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a little better, but I mean, we're just at a point where on season 12, they're really like throwing these girls down the gauntlet. You know, we're seeing lots of difficult challenges right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't want to diminish Aiden's like drag because I'm sure like, you know, at home in a bar or like if she goes tours around bars and stuff like that, she'll be doing well and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the looks really haven't been there. And yeah, I don't know. I might be praising her later in the episode for this challenge, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel bad all the hate she gets, but at the same time, I am frustrated with what she's showing us.
I guess I definitely see where you're coming from. I feel the same way at moments, but like I see her trying to push herself, and I definitely see all of the criticism coming towards her, but she's kind of got to let the defense down and just kind of own up to, okay, I am actively working to better this, instead of just kind of going back in that corner and the claws come out. Like just own up that, hey, I'm just a queen that's growing too, and the judges just happen to like me. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that Aiden has done. I think she does interesting things with her looks. However, a lot of them are very samey.
Flat.
But she does have like interesting twist on a lot of her looks that she does, which I do like, but it's not very polished. And a lot of times it's like the same look, just with like an added accessory.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We can get into that a little bit more in our Untucked talk, but yeah, just to kind of wrap up what had happened. The next day in the workroom, they're all around the table discussing which one of them is Trade, and Miss Essence of Beauty thinks that she's the one.
Oh, listen, this confidence cracks me up because it's not, I thought it came off in a way that was still like really cute and innocent, but it was still that kind of underline, I know I'm the sexiest one here, bitch. Because that's an attitude I can carry, but I don't do it in a way that's obnoxious or flashy. It's just kind of owning it, right? I thought they were just owning it because Jada is cute out of drag.
Yeah, she is. I didn't think it came off cocky at all. It was kind of just funny and playful.
Yeah,
exactly. That was just a fun moment, basically.
Yeah, so then we get into the mini challenge, which I guess is basically just them picking pills out of the bottle to see who gets the pink pill by Nicki Minaj.
It's the lottery, girl. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Do you guys remember the pink pill? That little portable speaker back in the day that Nicki Minaj was hawking?
Yes,
yeah.
The little speaker. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like a whole thing. Those like pill things or whatever. The speakers.
Pills and potions.
And of course hers was pink because she had the pink print.
Pink everything.
Yes. So in this challenge, it was very difficult, but the winners were Nikki Doll and Gigi Good. Anyways, Nikki and Gigi picked the pink pills, which allow them to be the casting directors. I bet Allison Mossy was so bummed.
Oh.
Damn.
But yeah, in reality, I thought it was kind of interesting that those were the two that came up with the pink pills because they're both like the pretty like look queens.
Yeah, the way that worked out was interesting. I think it was a good mix though, because I feel like Gigi might kind of have more of that artistic kind of approach, whereas Nikki is just kind of like she'll want to make everyone happy, but I don't know, find something decent for herself. She was just kind of middle road, I guess. Not in a bad way.
I feel like, I don't know. I felt like Gigi was kind of the one driving the selections, basically.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like Gigi was being shady. It seemed like she was actually trying to like pair people up with what would help them do well in the challenge.
Yeah. Gigi was very fair, in my opinion. She tried to consider everybody. At the end of the day, not everybody can get the parts that they want. And I think that they were fair in all their considerations, because even Nikki, she played more of the kind of mellow role, not necessarily the back seat, but she was listening to Gigi and she'd give her, opinion after. And she would jump in and say, oh, what about Widow? So I think they were making fair decisions and considerations.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think the only possible shady choice would have been with Aiden. And and for Widow and Aiden, I think it really worked out because I enjoyed them in both of their roles. So I guess it worked out.
I don't really, because Aiden wanted to be the baby, right? I think that was the deal. Or
Aiden wanted to be the pregnant one, I think.
I'm
the
forgetting.
one the Widow
okay.
Mimi
was.
She wanted to be Mimi.
I don't know. It seemed like whatever Gigi picked made the most sense, though, after, because they were all pretty good, really, in the challenge.
Yeah, they were.
Right. And then, so they get to rehearsal, and Nikki tries to rehearse with Widow, but she's really not having it. And, Widow's still kind of hurt by her casting decision. She wanted to be Black China. But yeah, I mean, I understand why Nikki wanted to rehearse with her because, like she said in the past, English is not her first language. So improv for her is a little bit more challenging because you have to think on your feet. And then for her, she has to think on her feet and translate to a different language.
Right. It makes sense. Like, okay, my English isn't the strongest, so let's try to connect any body language cues, anything to make us do better.
Definitely. And I think, it kind of really goes to show what the international queens have to go through on this show, like in the past with, a lot of the queens from like Puerto Rico or from Mexico, other Latin countries.
Yeah. No, language barrier can harm you if you let it, but everyone can communicate if you're just a nice person. So it's nice seeing the kind of European side of it, because usually it is from the Puerto Rican queens or the Latin queens. And I mean, there's all kinds of languages, right? So it's interesting seeing it be French and, oh, she speaks so well in the talking heads, but no, in that moment, she does have to process way more.
Right. Yeah, she does. And Rue enters the workroom obsessed still with Crystal's hair. Good thing it's attached to her head.
Is this the first time that Rue's like had like a crush on a contestant? Like, and is like,
I think so.
Like campaigning to be with them?
Yeah.
Rue just wants that wig.
Rue's
okay.
like, come to my fracking farm. My husband and I will take care of you.
Little children, I'll tell you. Like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, come little children. No, Sarah, no.
Don't do it, Crystal. Don't go.
It's going to be like in like 5 years, Crystal Methods Drag Race.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rupaul was feeling her like Cher half-breed moment this week in the workroom.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out, I don't know. I was like, this is an interesting choice for Rupaul. Something we don't typically see.
Oh, yeah.
Rue goes to Nikki's table and starts up with her bullshit. And she was really on one this episode, so I just am going to apologize now because Rue was really getting on my nerves.
Uh-oh.
So Nikki is explaining her role, and Rue asks if the baby will speak French. And Nikki says, well, we don't know who the father is, so yeah, she probably will speak some French. And then Rue says, well, that's very literal, like kind of abrasively.
I think Rue tries to like push the girls, but some of the comments, because we are used to Rue just kind of talking all the time, it seemed very abrupt, right?
I mean, the problem with like the workroom scenes now, it's like so forced sometimes, where Rue's like trying to like force like drama when it's not there.
Yeah.
Like Jake Yonsei style.
Yeah. And then you can see Rue getting mad when she's not getting the response that she was hoping for.
Yeah, you can see the frustration.
Yeah.
But where I'm calling bullshit is because on the last episode, and even throughout the entire season so far, I think that it was Ross specifically that said that she should incorporate more French into her shtick. So what's good, Rue?
Yeah, no, Ross did in fact say that.
So I think she's listening to her critiques. So if you don't like her speaking more French, then maybe you need to fire Ross.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things too. It's like, are we trying to trip the queens up, or are we forgetting the notes and what the rest of the panel said? Because yeah,
this is like total Pandora box edit where it's like you love the queen, but they keep telling her like in critiques, and then she'll do what they say, and then they're like, actually no, this isn't good, and you're like, what the fuck do you want from me?
No more wire hangers.
This is so frustrating. All right, so then they go and they shoot the scene, so you kind of see behind the scenes, but we'll go further in detail later talking about the scene.
Yes.
So the next day they are in the workroom getting ready for the runway, and Nikki is really feeling the pressure. She says that she is struggling where others are not, and that it's because she is French, and she wonders if she should even be in the competition.
Yeah, of course it must be like super hard to have that pressure, because you want to do well for yourself, you want to do well for your country, your home country, and really make a name for yourself. And I imagine it's really hard when you just kind of feel like you don't know which direction to go or what more you could do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just frustrating for sure for her. Then after that, we find out that, Jackie sort of has a similar feeling. She feels that she isn't enough for her mom and is sort of like trapped into these typical immigrant stories where like the parents bring the kids to America to have a better life for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Middle Eastern culture, typically from what we know, they're very strict with their kids. Any international parent, it seems, they just want those kids to have that American dream, that chance that they never had, maybe in their home countries. Some people come over here successful. That's not everybody's story, but the majority of them just want them to be a lawyer, be a doctor, not a drag queen, or not even a DJ or whatever the kids want to do now.
SoundCloud rapper, that's the one.
Yeah, TikTok creator.
TikTok
I don't know.
TikTok thought. Oh man. But then after that, we also find out about Widow's mom, who died in a car crash when Widow was only 17 years old.
Yeah, that was very sad.
That was.
Widow she wished more than anything that their mom could have met Widow, and it's like, yeah, that's really tough.
And how tragic too to like have just in general to have your mom pass away, but they were like having a disagreement at the time and they never got to mend their argument, so that's just gonna stick with you forever.
Oh right, yeah, there was that too.
That's what's tough for sure, like any situation like that. So sorry, Widow.
Wow, this has been such an uplifting mom episode. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Shout out to the moms.
Yeah, for real. All right, well, now it's time to get into the runway. Rue's wearing a sparkly green dress and the same wig that she's been wearing the entire competition.
I did like the dress. I did notice the repeat hair.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is like Raven like on vacation like for 3 weeks in a row or something?
I mean, just justice for Delta, really, I think is where we are at this point in the season.
Maybe Rue's trying to create like some kind of new signature with the hair.
Like a uniform?
Yeah, uniform.
Gotta put on my work uniform.
It's my runway wig.
Yes. But also exciting this week, special guest judge, Normani.
Yes, I was so excited about this. I blew up Motivation. It was one of my top played songs of the year on Spotify last year. So this is the second coming. This is going to be Beyonce when Beyonce is gone.
Yeah, Jamal listened to it so much it got to #1 on the charts.
She's not going to be like Beyonce. She's going to be Normani, but she's showing similar traits. Like, this is a young businesswoman. She broke off from Fifth Harmony, and she's doing very well as a solo artist.
Yeah, that song was a really big hit, so good for her. And I'm excited to see what else she brings in the future, too, because, I mean, clearly she's not done.
Yes. Snaps for Normani.
Yes. So first, let's discuss the Planet of the Capes runway. Who stood out to you, or who was the top and who was the bottom? Let's get into it.
Ooh, let me think about my fave for a second.
Well, for me personally, I thought that Crystal's look was one of the best. Like, I thought she looked on point. The cape was like, she completed the challenge. It wasn't some like piece of sheet or whatever that somebody put like on their back. Like, it was a giant cape. I loved the flowers on her head. Her makeup was on point. Like, it was just like,
yeah,
it was awesome.
Crystal's been stepping her game up, so I enjoyed her look a lot. I actually did not mind Britta's look. I kind of wanted it to have a heavier cape, but I love the idea of the chap dress, despite what the judges said. I actually enjoyed Gigi's a lot. I was getting more like flight attendant, but as soon as she said Troop Beverly Hills, it's like, oh yeah, I see it completely. So good job, Gigi, again.
Troop Beverly Hills, what a thrill.
Yeah.
I thought Jada's was really good. Like, she always obviously pulls out the glam. I thought she was really good. And I also like Jan, because Jan was like the superhero.
Yeah, she was giving us those superhero vibes. I appreciated that.
I did like Jan's outfit. My one critique would be that I wanted the parachute / cape to be a little bit shorter.
Ooh, a little shorter.
Yeah, because when she was running, it like didn't really pick up. She had to actually like lift it up to have any like motion in it when she was running.
That's true. I see that.
But that would be it for her. Also with Jada, I really liked her look a lot. Not much to complain about, except for her wig line was a little bit off in the front. You could see her hair.
Did you enjoy those severe shoulders?
I did. Definitely like Lady Gaga shoulder pads there.
Stupid love.
Yes. I think my favorites, however, would be Jackie Cox, and I really loved her outfit. Like, she looked like a complete princess, like very beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and when she puts up the cape, it was insane.
Yeah, that headpiece was gorgeous with the makeup, and it all really came together well on the runway.
Yes. And then also, of course, my other favorite was Nikki Doll, even though everyone's like drinking their haterade this week.
Oh, because she was wearing a piece of tissue for her cape.
I know where you live, bitch. I'll fucking kill you.
Please don't send me anthrax.
Look, I thought Nikki Doll's was good. However, I do agree with the judges that the cape needed some work. Like, the second cape that she was wearing, to me, that's not going to work, girl.
Like, how sexier would it have been if it was like a long, kind of flowy, chiffon-y type silver cape, like actually a cape that just kind of shimmered and followed her as she walked. Now, that would have been like super badass, sexy Marvel, but I just wasn't getting it here.
I agree and disagree. So I agree with when they said that she should have waited to drop her cape. So I think that she should have done that maybe like right before she got to the main part at the end. And so that would have maybe been a little bit better of a show of it.
Oh, true. The reveal was too early.
Yeah, and that was the cape. This is not the cape that's on her dress. Like, the cape was her part of her reveal. So when they are like criticizing her for her Tool little cape moment or whatever you want to call it, that was not the cape. Like, so but even so, like, she looked beautiful, and it's not my fault that the judges aren't cultured enough to know who Joan of Arc is, because Joan of Arc is a warrior, and that is exactly how Nikki is dressed.
I guess I'm just so used to the queens like coming out in their, oh, this is my reveal cloak, that I didn't really clock it as a cape because the reveal was too early.
Why? Because it wasn't written on her cape like Trinity?
Oh no, I'm assuming like I am assuming anything that's just wrapped around and then immediately dropped is that reveal cloak.
My thing is, it would have been more cool had she had a badass cape underneath the already badass cape she was wearing. So
you wanted a cape reveal.
Yeah, like, I wanted the reveal to be another awesome cape, and I think that was very capable. Because, because honestly, like, I don't know, like, it It's frustrating because the look to me is really good, but it could have been so much better had she like put in a little more work on the second cape.
All right. I mean, I guess. Also, same to Britta. It's like House of 1,000 Tool capes.
Oh, I know. No, I wish the same for Britta. I wish that cape were a little heavier. It did a little more. It looked like tissue paper.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick, like, I think Nikki's was good. It's more just like nitpicking, really, and saying like, these are the things that I think she could have done way better had she just like made some adjustments. But if I have to say my least favorite one, it has to be Widow's. Like, I thought Widow's was really bad.
Do you think her cape was supposed to be about watermelon?
I thought it was like some kind of inside out ladybug. I was like, I wanted the cape to be off the shoulders and then maybe also do under the arms to make it more dramatic, because it was just giving me like sad acid flying squirrel.
I don't know. The whole green and pink with the seeds really didn't give me watermelon. I don't know.
I mean, her hair and makeup's gorgeous. I just didn't really understand the cape aspect of the outfit.
I think the cape was it was done wrong. Like, it should have been over her shoulders instead. Like, to me, the way she had it, that's not really a cape, because it's like there's holes in it. Like whenever she would raise her arm, you know what I mean?
Everything else is great. Just that cape placement is what needed adjusting.
But also, I have to give props because I thought Aiden's look was good this week. So,
very chic.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was sort of like Conquistador meets like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I really love that. And apparently, like the moth that she had like on her lips was like a real moth.
Ew.
Oh.
That's what she said, and I was like, that is gross and unsanitary.
Yeah, I actually liked Aiden's look a lot. I enjoy an all-black moment.
I didn't mind it. I think it's just, like, for me, it's very similar to other things she's done, and it seemed kind of simple to me, and then she was just like, oh, let me put this moth in my mouth, and now it's like a look.
Yeah,
this is like elevated for her though.
I guess I see what you're saying, Stoney. I just appreciate the styling of it, and like black is hard to show on the runway, and it didn't get fleshed out at all. I understood I saw the concept,
and so I can see why people liked it. It's just not my fave, I guess. But I did want to say real quick about Heidi. I disagree that everyone was like trashing on Heidi's look. I actually thought it was fine. Like, I didn't think it was great or anything. It wasn't bad either, but the judges were like shitting all over it, and I just totally disagreed.
Well, I think the problem is the cape was like two different designs, like one on each side. So I think had she I like the side where, like the inside where the part you could see when she was walking down the runway, but the part when she was walking away, like I didn't really like that design as much. So I think had it just been like the same design on both sides, that would have been a much stronger look for her.
I agree with Stoney. I didn't think it was that bad. I do agree with the cape adjusting, though. I was thinking maybe the outer part should have been black, kind of matching the bodysuit, and then have that pop of color surprise on the inside. That would have been more dramatic.
Right. This is like giving us very like art pop, like applause.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, just one other comment, too. I thought Sherry Pie's was kind of like meh.
Oh, her Elvis one? I thought that was a good look. The costume was really good.
I thought the costume was really good too.
I think I'm just like anti-Elvis or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I like Elvis, so maybe that's it. But I'm also not going to just discount her designer's look because it's Sherry Pie like some other people do. Ooh. Not on the show.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought the Elvis look was really cool, but Crystal takes a cake for me this week.
Yes, Crystal.
Yes. I liked that one a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick break here. And then when we come back, we will discuss and break down Gay's Anatomy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to our podcast so far. Thanks for coming. Right now, we're probably refilling our drinks or maybe even gluing down our lashes again. While you wait, here's some things that you should check out.
Yeah, remember everyone, you can email us, tfcpod@gmail.com, and tfcpod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Oh, and one more thing. You're not my real dad, and you never will be. Anyways, back to the show. Live on Saturday night.
Damn it. I was going to try to say like a Kristen Wiig character, but I blanked.
Millie.
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 Hi, Millie.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, no. No Drake.
Uh-oh. Stay away, Drake. Social distancing, bitch. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the continued discussion of episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys were ready to get into Gay's Anatomy.
Yes, another fun challenge. Like Seth said earlier, we're getting all the tough challenges thrown at the queens very early into the season. So I had fun watching this one. I'm slightly familiar with Grey's Anatomy, but definitely not a super fan by any means. But yeah, this was a fun one.
Yeah, definitely they're getting like more acclimated, I guess, to the acting challenges, because I felt like maybe it was the way this one was written or something, but it was way more funny and it actually had a cohesive like story somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a good job kind of sticking to the script and getting deeper into those characters. Kind of a little more loose, right? Relaxed.
Yeah. I think some people that struggled in the acting challenge were Jada.
Yeah, Jada was having some line issues at first, and she actually twisted the judge's comment in Untucked. We can talk about it later if it comes up, but she was in her head, and that's what the judges meant by we can tell you were thinking about what was going on. You could see her processing what was next, so maybe it was a little tough to work with her through that scene.
Yeah, and I didn't think she was like terrible either. It was more just like compared to everyone else, she wasn't as good, and you could tell she was kind of a little more robotic, but I didn't think like it was as bad as compared to like other seasons or anything.
Sure.
Yeah. That is true. I don't think anyone really did bad. There were just people that I sort of were like meh, or like their performance didn't really stick out for me.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
So that's like, for me, that was like Jada, Gigi, Jackie. I don't know. I feel like those people kind of got lost in the skit.
Yeah, I thought Jackie was kind of boring a little bit, and then
She was trying to give us Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City.
Yeah, and it kind of like ruined it because when Jan came on, she was so much more funny and she just had more personality.
Yeah.
So that kind of like ruined it for Jackie. And then I don't know. I thought like Nikki was okay. Like she had some funny moments, but then some flat moments too.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'll just say the people that stood out for me were Nikki, Widow, Aiden, and then
Jan.
Maybe Crystal and Jan. I don't know. I mean, I thought Heidi did, out of those two, Heidi did disappear over Crystal a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Widow. Widow definitely did a good job, and that's usually how it works out. The queens end up slaying the parts that they didn't want in the first place, and I think that's how you should tackle the challenge. Nikki was funny, but I think she had more flat than not. And Jan was she stole the show because Jan is just full of personality and she was just screaming, but she was portraying a character, and that relationship with the mom, you felt the annoyance, you felt the rage, and she's like, this bitch doesn't love me.
Yeah. I mean, Nikki, I guess, I don't know. To me, I don't think there was anything too flat, but I think what may have caused that for people was that she was speaking in English and in French, so that was like not as funny maybe because like you don't understand what she's saying. But I mean, I speak French, so I could understand a little bit of it, but when she started speaking really fast, like that whole part where she was speaking really fast, I just couldn't understand. It's something about throwing her into the sea or something like that.
See, I feel like we've seen this though with our like Latin queens in the past though. Like you can make that kind of language break funny. Like Rue kind of challenged her and it's like, oh, that's a little literal. But we've seen it done with queens who speak Spanish, and they can switch it up and give us a little Spanglish moment or make it funny. I don't think Nikki's there with her like improv chops is what was more of the issue. And, you know, it's out of her comfort zone. I do think she was trying, but we've seen the language thing executed well in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree. I think we have seen the language executed better, but in the past, I don't think it's really been through improv moments. Mm-hmm. So I think, I don't know. I mean, I get both sides of it. Like she should be able to just sort of roll with the punches but at the same time, like she's at a disadvantage. So
yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just tough to like really completely hold it against her, but at the same time, she did pick that role.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to keep, I guess, necessarily talking about Nikki, but I thought it was basically just, she had some moments that were making me laugh, and other moments I thought was like a little bit awkward. So that's really what it came down to for me.
Yeah.
One person that I thought was like a little underwhelming or very underwhelming to me was Britta. I think just like Britta, which is weird because Britta seems to have like acting like abilities. Like she seems like she picks up on the lines really well. It's just everything she like did in this challenge just was not really that funny to me, and it just seemed very forced almost. I don't know. She just, to me, was not my favorite.
I can kind of, like, you can tell that she was in it, right? I didn't hate Britta, but it did feel like a little forced, but that's also because she knows what she's doing, so maybe it was just, she is being out there and loud, and everyone's just not where she is. But yeah, there was a comment she made in Untucked about, just like, I don't get why this is happening, but it's like, you might have to polish some things too, even though you feel like you've got this and it seems like you can do these things, but there's still something that's not clicking with the judges.
It's weird because it's hard for me to put into words, because it's almost like she checks all the boxes of somebody who should be like killing it, but then like when you watch her on the TV, you're just like, it's like,
what's
this
happening?
Isn't really that good though.
And I think Aiden kind of carried Britta through their scenes together.
Yeah, which is kind of
yeah, it was reversed that way, wasn't it? Because that came up in Untucked as well when somebody was feeling salty.
Yeah, Aiden as a ghost was so funny. Like that was a lot of the moments that I really enjoyed. Were Aiden Aiden and Nikki and Widow.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
Aiden was very funny.
Yeah, and Sherry Pie was good too. Sherry Pie, I mean, did a good job in her acting. But yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I've noticed the show has done like a really good job of cutting her out of stuff that I almost like forgot she was even there.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really cut her out of the acting challenge, unfortunately, but yeah, the rest of the time they are doing a good job. It's like I'll always forget that she's in the competition. Like it's like, oh yeah, like when I'm like kind of like when we're kind of like going through like what we should talk about in the show, it's like I kind of forget that I should even talk about Sherry.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so that was the skit. So then we are moving on to the judging, and just a couple notes on the judging because this is where Rue continued to annoy me. So they're asking Nikki, kind of doing her critiques, and Nikki's explaining, well, like, I don't speak English, so it's like a little bit more difficult for me to translate. And then at the end of it, Rue's like, you did a really good job. It's just down to small details now, like completely like rude. She was just like annoyed and like upset to be in the studio.
I guess I didn't read that.
Yeah, I didn't read it that way. I thought I was like agreed with her kind of in that sense. It was like, it was such a good challenge and they all just like, so it's like we have to choose someone from this group.
Yeah.
And kind of like
that's how
through.
I read it as well.
That's how I read it.
It's just kind of like hard kind of sigh or whatever.
I don't know. It was about the delivery for me because she cut off what Nikki was saying like so many times. Like they just cut her off when she was trying to say what was going on.
Maybe Rue is having a bad day on the set. I'm not making excuses for anybody, but I didn't read it as that. I didn't get that at all. But
you guys let us know. Let us know on Twitter if you guys think that I'm too in my feelings or maybe just let me know if I'm too in my feelings.
I guess I'm always just so triggered when people are like, oh, it's like how you said something. It's like, okay, seriously, like when are we going to get over that? Like we're all grown, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Rue is probably tired too from like all the fracking that she's had to do. So
it's a hard knock life, girl.
Right.
So then of course we get to the, shady part where Rue asks who should go home, and Jada says Heidi and the rest say Nikki. Even Nikki says herself and is explaining why, and then Rue interrupts her again. I'm like, girl, Rue's patience is non-existent this episode.
But you know that Nikki committed the ultimate sin. Never say yourself when Rue asks. Like, any Drag Race fan should know this.
Rue
I don't know.
Hates that shit.
Maybe Nikki isn't a fan, but girl, do never say yourself.
That is true, and I will say that she should have not said herself, but in the same moment, I thought that she was just showing more of her human side.
No,
because
I agree.
we all get that way, I think, in certain aspects of our life.
I agree. There's always, one queen here and there that doesn't want to hurt the cast members. They're friends. They don't want to say their friend's name, even if they know deep down that they should say their name. So, yeah, I agree completely. We just saw, the human side of Nikki. She doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and she's not necessarily maybe feeling down on herself, but maybe a little disappointed that they didn't think she did better. Very that.
Yeah. So the winner of this challenge is Sherry Pie.
Wow.
And the bottom two are Heidi in Closet and Nikki Doll.
Heidi just squeezed in that bottom. I wasn't worried. I don't want to see either of these queens go, but yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with Nikki being in the bottom. I would have probably replaced Nikki with Britta.
Yeah, I could see that. Because my thing is, Nikki looked so flawless. Like, her outfit, her hair, even her makeup was, I think, the best that we've seen so far on the show of hers. I mean, you can't tell me that bitch wasn't pretty.
I mean, she looked good, but the cape challenge part was a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, but she looks so pretty.
I know, I don't disagree. She looks great all the time.
Yeah, I mean...
all the time. So that's but I could still see how she landed in the bottom because it came down to the performance and the details of, she didn't quite check all the boxes on the runway challenge, so that's what got her there.
And I don't care who was in the bottom two against Heidi. I was rooting for Heidi, so...
Rude.
Heidi was just serving the feeling and the vibe of the song.
Yeah.
I loved her lip sync.
I felt the fantasy completely.
Yes. So they're lip syncing to Normani's song Motivation.
No.
We're lip syncing to Heart to Break by Kim Petras. I was very confused why we didn't get our Normani song, but, I'm pretty sure they could afford the licensing since she was sitting right there on the judge panel.
That's a pretty big song. At the time of filming, I think the song wasn't out yet.
Oh.
Because I just heard that going back through Rupaul's podcast, listening to old episodes. So at the time when Normani filmed with Brew and the girls, the song was on its way out. Like, she was about to go and film the video after Drag Race.
Because remember, they didn't they film season 12 forever ago, basically?
A year ago,
yeah, at least.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, the lip sync was good. Heidi in Closet committed the one of the other no-nos of Drag Race, and her wig came off.
Woo, that wig! She popped that shit right back on there, didn't she?
Snatched it back, though.
Yes, and in order to force their narrative, they didn't really focus on that too much, so that she could look better.
Listen, bitch, don't hate. Heidi was serving it. At least she wasn't throwing her edges into the rafters like Monique Hart did. Shit getting stuck up in the fucking production ceiling. She was just in the moment. It fell off, but I do agree that shit should have been tacked on tighter, Miss Heidi.
I will give it to Heidi though, because she snapped that shit back on real quick and didn't let it bother her at all, and she really finished out the lip sync strong.
It was so quick, you almost thought she was teasing a wig reveal.
Yeah, I was waiting for her dreads to come out, like Evie's.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, you guys, let's go into the Fantasy League. Stoney, what do you have for us this week?
Yeah, so...
Am I winning?
This week is a fun week because Sherry wins again.
Damn you, Sherry Pie.
Yeah, so... I guess we'll start off with the queens still on the show. So myself and Jamal both have 3 queens still on the show.
Woo!
So we get 15 points for that. And Seth has 4 queens on the show, so he gets 20 points.
Yes.
Nice.
The mini challenge winners were Nikki and Gigi. So Seth gets 10 points and I get 10 points.
Woohoo!
And then the winner of the bottom 2 lip sync was Heidi and Closet. So Jamal gets 10 points.
Thanks, girl. Good job.
Oh, and Jamal got an amended points, right? From last episode?
So actually I did from last episode.
Yeah, it was Stoney.
Because I have Britta Filter on my team and I did not put that she won the bottom 2 lip sync.
Yeah. Oh, she's on your team, not Jamal's?
Yeah, she's on my team.
Oh, okay. I forgot whose team she was on, but I was like, wait, nobody got points for Britta.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. So yeah, I get 10 points last week for Britta.
So where does that leave us in the standings, girl?
All right, so after 5 full episodes, Jamal is in last place.
No.
Oh, no.
With 85 points.
No.
Not again.
And in first place with 120 points is Seth.
Really?
Yes.
How is this happening? I feel like I don't get any points.
I don't know, girl. I'm in second place with 110 points, so I'm 10 points behind you.
We need to start doing better, Team Jamal.
I shouldn't have said anything about Britta, so I could have had a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. So actually, you lost a queen, so all of us will have like 3 queens apiece going into episode 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Even playing field. Let's see what happens, girls.
Nice.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into Untucked. We'll try and keep this not too long for you, but there is a lot of tea in Untucked. So if we're losing you and you guys don't like hearing about Untucked, adios, au revoir. And for those of you that are staying, hi, how are ya?
What up?
All right, you guys, so let's just start with the obvious. Britta versus Aiden. What are our thoughts?
I think that Britta is in her feelings. She's just kind of like I was saying earlier. She's confused as to why the judges aren't really connecting with her yet. She's going on and on about how she's had the most lines in the challenge and Grey's Anatomy, and why doesn't that count for anything? And they're getting on Aiden's case because they kind of feel like Aiden's getting a pass. Aiden's not doing as much. Aiden complains and whines, and she's not trying. So I think Britta's just really taking out her frustration on Aiden, and it's bullshit because, hey, if the judges didn't put her in the bottom, then you just have to deal with that, and it's going to be up to Aiden to maintain that position going forward.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good look for Britta. Like, Britta needs to focus on her and herself only. Like, she's flipping out and like taking out on Aiden, and it's like, girl, your looks have not been good enough. You've not been doing anything outstanding in any of the challenges, so stop like picking on Aiden. And like, I get why Aiden is frustrated, because it's like, please just like shut the fuck up about me, because I'm doing what I can. Like, you know, like, it's fine. Like, she's not the best queen, but like, just leave her alone. Let her do her thing. Like, if she sucks as bad as you say she sucks, she will be going home soon.
Right. And girl, you're not gonna outlive that look, that green and yellow fluffy ass high heel big bird pineapple reject ass.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it, but girl,
or corn apple.
Yeah, you did that. Aiden did not put that shit on you. You did that. You can't just look pretty. You actually have to nail the assignment as well.
See, what I think what's going on with Britta is that she was the big fish in the small pond, but now she's on RuPaul's Drag Race and she's the small fish in the big pond. So she's really feeling like the frustrations because she's so used to, you know, being so praised and doing so well.
Right. Just because you're booked and blessed in New York City and you're number one here and there doesn't necessarily mean you get that automatically.
I would like to read a statement that Britta wrote after the show had aired last night.
Oh, she had an iOS press release, did she?
She did, across all of her socials.
I bet it was across all of them.
And she says, well, Untucked just happened, face palm emoji. I feel good about what I did in the challenge, and I stand by my look on the runway. However, it is obviously not okay to bring one of my sisters down just because I was feeling a certain way. In the moment, I definitely let my sadness and insecurity get the best of me, and instead of embracing my faults, I tried to hide it with overconfidence and aggressiveness. By the way, Aiden, Zane, and I are friends, but at least you can't say this season is boring. P.S. I'm also tired of hearing it. I'm from New York. We get it, Britta.
Well, that's good that she can acknowledge that. I think that's very big of her to do that. You don't owe anybody anything as a person, but the fact that she wanted to apologize to the viewers and just say, hey, I was just in a shitty space, I think that's really good of her to do.
Yeah, I'm glad she apologized. At least that makes up for the way she acted in the Untucked. But you know what? I'm not complaining because Untucked this season has been pretty bad, and this was the first one that I was like, yes, bitch.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one where you're just pouring all the tea in your mouth and you just can't catch it all. It's just like, oh god, here's some more. Oh, she's pissed.
And yeah, my favorite moment of the Untucked though was Heidi just saying "fuck you" to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Heidi had enough.
Heidi was just over it because you can tell, of course, Heidi and Aiden gravitate towards each other because they're both from smaller towns. They kind of have that connection. So Heidi was pissed that they were just going on and on about Aiden and this and that. So she popped the hell off. She's like, listen, y'all are disturbing my lip sync practice back here.
Yeah. I mean, I get it why Nikki and Heidi were upset because they were the bottom two. So they're like, okay, cool, but Aiden's safe. You guys stop
Right.
picking on her. That's not helping them. That's not. They're in a different headspace because they're about to lip sync for their life.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful.
So they were kind of backed into a corner a little bit. So I think that's why, differently, Heidi was like, leave her alone. Nikki's like, you're I'm so mad that I'm going home because you're not really putting as much effort as I feel like I am. So yeah, so that was a doozy.
Yeah, Nikki did say that, but hey, the judges, they placed Aiden where they did, and I don't see any of them suggesting or volunteering to go and disagree with Rue or any of the judges. So there's that tea.
Right, and it's should Aiden just sacrifice herself just because these other bitches have a problem with her?
Yeah, should
hell
Aiden
no.
actually get roasted? And it's because, Aiden decided to say, oh, I should send myself home.
I did like that Aiden stood up for herself, though, because I would be annoyed by it, too, because you can tell, it almost seems like she doesn't say anything because she just doesn't want to open the door for people to jump down her throat.
Right. It's don't keep reminding me that I'm a piece of shit if I may be feeling that about myself already. I'm just on the show trying to grow like everyone, too.
Right. To shift the conversation, I really liked Nikki's pep talk with Heidi.
That was cute. I did love that moment.
Yeah.
That was really cute. Heidi was kind of feeling down. It's we know you can kill a lip sync, but of course she was feeling nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the sisterhood between those two. It was really cute. She's like, no, bitch, you go fight and you do this.
I always love those moments on the show because we hear from past queens of the show that it's just very long days between filming and the challenges and all the work that they do in such a short period of time. It feels like forever for us because we're seeing an hour and a half every week, but this was just a very time crunch tight schedule shooting the show. So everybody is just probably mentally and emotionally drained. So seeing them lift each other up is always a good moment.
Right. And then just the last kind of thing that I wanted to touch on is about Nikki feeling, she said she felt like a prisoner trapped in her own body because of the language barrier. And I can sort of understand that because when I was traveling and I was in a country where my first language was not the one being spoken, I sort of had that feeling myself because it's you kind of want to interact with people and be able to speak to people with whichever country you're in, but at the same time my French speaking is so limited, even more than her English speaking. Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of frustrating because you feel like you're kind of on the outside trapped, kind of like what she said.
Yeah, that's totally a real feeling. I would just tell Nikki to don't put that much pressure on yourself because we see that human side of you. If people are being nice to each other. People are going to help you communicate. People are going to work to understand you and not just say, oh, here's this dizzy French bitch, doesn't know what she's talking about. That's just like so inappropriate. So, but that insecurity level is there. So just kind of pushing yourself to make the effort so people can see. I think when people see you try, it like warms them up to you and they want to bring you in and help you more. But it takes a while to get to a point where you can do that, you know?
Yeah, and I think she did well in the show because she does have a fan base. I was looking in the comments of her of the lip sync on the Instagram, and a lot of people were really upset to see Nikki go.
Yeah.
So I understand she was having trouble like translating what was going on inside of her to be seen by the judges and things like that. But I think that she will be a loved queen and that she will, you know, have a very successful drag career.
Yeah, I think she's a pretty strong All-Stars candidate. But not too soon, producers. We know you're listening.
Yeah, well, supposedly the calls have started going out for All-Star 6, so...
Oh, God.
That's what I hear.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah. So just to round out the show, we have another listener question this week. And this week it comes from the Will Jameson.
Hi.
Hey, girl. And Will asks us... if you were trapped in quarantine with any of the contestants, which would you choose?
Oh.
Interesting. Of the remaining contestants?
I think it could just be anyone in the season.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I think I would like to be in quarantine with Heidi in Closet just because she's so funny.
And you know she would be able to cook good for you.
Yeah, so... I don't know. I just need to be entertained, and I feel like I could listen to Heidi speak a lot. So,
yeah, she would definitely make it not so boring.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. This is
much pressure, girl.
I know, this is harder than I thought it would be.
I think for me, while you think a little bit more, it's between Crystal and Nikki Doll, who I would choose because Crystal is just like a little bit more entertaining and funny and silly. Nikki is like pretty and I would like speaking French with her, but I think I'm gonna go with Crystal because she's just so wacky and off the wall that I just wouldn't know what to expect day to day.
Yeah, I was kind of torn between Jan and Crystal because Jan is like good energy. She would tell me to open the curtains. It's too dark in here.
She would start screaming at you.
I also feel like Jan, like, would you be annoyed if Jan just, like, doesn't ever tone it down?
You know, I probably would. No, but I think Jan would be fun. But in the end, I think that Crystal is very, like, kooky. And that's, like, the kind of energy I would want to be around. And, yeah, I don't think I would ever be bored at any part of my day.
Yeah, she would just be so fun. Maybe she could paint our faces.
Yeah, maybe she'd do that. She'd ask me if I was done with those emails yet.
Yeah.
She's like, can we go play now? Like, I get that from Crystal, so I'm going to say Crystal as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good question, Will. Thanks for sending that in. If you have any other questions, listeners, feel free to send those in. But yeah, this was a fun week. Next week is Snatch Game.
Snatch Game. I completely forgot. It's episode 6.
It is? I must have missed the preview.
Yeah, they showed a couple rando previews before what was going on in next week.
We definitely missed those.
Oh my God.
What the hell were
Snatch
we doing?
Game.
Trying to get back to Tiger King or something?
It's okay. I don't really want to be spoiled on who anyone's picking, so don't tell me.
Well, they didn't really show anything, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see that next week. So tune in, subscribe, and until then, bye.
Bye. Go to my island, bitch.